guys, what's up? It's Elizabeth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Elizabeth and I am no longer a 4th semester ADN nursing student. I am a nursing school graduate as of Monday, so that's super exciting, and I will be posting my last week of nursing school vlog within the next few days here. So if you want to see that, make sure to stick around, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. I would love to have you a part of this little YouTube family. But today I decided to answer a very commonly asked question that I get pretty much on every single video that I post in the comments or in my Instagram DMs, which if you're not following me on Instagram, I'll put it right here. Make sure to go follow me. I'm very active with you guys and I love responding to your questions and whatever. I will say I'm not like super quick at responding. And I really need to go through my DMs right now, but I do eventually respond. I promise. I love talking to you guys. It makes me so happy that so many of you guys, and I touch upon this in my weekly vlog that I'm about to post, it just means so much to me that, you know, I can have this channel and have this platform where I can give you guys a little bit of inspiration, I guess, or motivation, or just a common ground to come to in the craziness of nursing school. But with that being said, I'm going to be answering a very, very commonly asked question, which is why did I decide to get my ADN versus my BSN, what the difference is, what it actually means to be a registered nurse, and the steps that you have to take in order to become a nurse. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to try to be as informative as possible and also give little pieces of like my personal story and why I chose the program that I did and stuff like that. But again, this is just my personal opinion, and I do live in the United States and I'm not sure what it's like in other countries, so feel free if you're watching from another country to comment down below and let us know what it's like in different countries, because I know it's so different just from what some of you have already told me through DMs and comments already. But yeah, so this is just my personal opinion and I'm going to try to make it as informative as possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start very broad with a question of what is an RN? What is a registered nurse? What does it mean to have those 2 letters next to your name? So, and I think this is the most like misinterpreted part of nursing education, is that if you graduate from nursing school that you're an RN, but an RN is a licensure and it's not a degree. So each state has a board of nursing. So I live in Ohio, so in my state it's the OBN, the Ohio Board of Nursing. And what these boards of nursing do, they do a lot of things, but in general, they give licenses. They can take licenses away if you're not practicing within your nursing scope of practice. They make nursing scope of practice laws and changes within your state, which is basically what you can do as a nurse, because it can differ from state to state, not drastically, but it can be a little bit different. And they administer the NCLEX, which is the boards that you take in order to become an RN and get your license. And then I feel like is the most misinterpreted part, because people think that you have to have a BSN in order to do this. But that is not the case, because in order to sit and take your boards, you have to graduate from an accredited nursing program, whether that be an ADN, which is 2 years, or a BSN, which is 4 years. It doesn't matter which one of these you take, as long as it's an accredited school. You complete all your requirements and your school sends over your information, all of your completed requirements, to your state boards, which is then going to allow you to sit and take your NCLEX. So this is the stage that I'm in at the moment, which is I'm studying for my NCLEX and I'm getting ready to test to become an RN. So I just graduated from an ADN program. Like I said, is an associate's degree. And after you graduate, so I graduated on Monday, so now my school is going to send my credentials, like all of my completed credits showing that I graduated from an accredited school. And then I'm going to go online and I'm going to apply for my license through the Ohio Board of Nursing. once I apply for my license, I have to get a background check. And then once they receive all of my information from my school and my background check, they'll then send a number, which I forgot what it's called. They send a number, and then that is your ticket to sit and take the NCLEX to become a registered nurse. So after explaining that, just in general, that an RN is a license, not a degree, we're going to go into the pros and cons of should you get your bachelor's or just your ADN, and why even get your bachelor's if you can take a 2-year degree and still sit and take your boards, and so on and so forth. So the reason why you need a BSN, which is a degree, not a license, is because there are things called magnet hospitals, which is basically like accreditation. And most hospitals in the United States are now requiring their nurses to obtain a BSN within a certain amount of years. So the hospital that I'm most likely going to end up working at requires you to get your BSN within 5 years. So of course, this is great to expand your own knowledge personally and further your education, but the reason the hospital wants it is because of accreditation and political things, financial reasons, to have their hospital have more accreditation, and that has to do with the Joint Commission and hospital administration and a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand, nor do I even want to understand the nitty-gritty behind all of the financial aspects. But from a nursing point of view, having an ADN versus a BSN is not going to expand your practice at all. And I feel like that's also like a misconception. If you graduate from a 2-year ADN program or a 4-year BSN program, you're going to have the same skills, the same scope of practice within your state as stated by your Board of Nursing in your state. You're not going to make any more money, be able to do anything more outside of your scope of practice that your state has set for you. So that's definitely a question that I get a lot, like, well, why did you get your ADN? Like, you know, you should just go to school and get your BSN, blah, blah, blah. So that is like definitely a misconception that your scope of practice is going to expand once you get your bachelor's. In saying that, your bachelor's is required for you to get in order to like stay working at the hospital, like I said, due to like financial and accreditation and hospital administration stuff. So personally, I decided to, now we're like getting into the pros and cons, I decided to get my ADN first because 1, it's cheaper because you can get it through a community college, and 2, it's faster because obviously it's 2 years, not 4, and you can sit for your same boards and start practicing and get your license as a registered nurse. And 3, a lot of the times, since hospitals do want their nurses and they want to give them incentive to go back to school and get their BSN, I would say 90, okay, I'll do 95 because I don't know in every single state. 95% of hospitals will give you some kind of financial reimbursement, or they may just pay for your BSN completely. In my case, the hospital that I'm probably going to end up working at doesn't pay for the entire thing, but they do give back a pretty decent chunk of the cost of your bachelor's degree, which was a super big like thing for me to like encourage me to get my ADN first, because why pay for your bachelor's when I could just pay for my associates? And again, like I said, for an associate's degree, it's at community college. So in total, I don't know exactly how much I spent, but it was definitely under $10,000 for my entire 2 years of school, including books, scrubs, everything. It was definitely under 10 grand. And the school that I'm looking at to get my bachelor's degree from, it's like 10 grand a semester. So that would be like $40,000 because I had 4 semesters versus like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly how much I spent, but less than 1 semester for the entirety of my entire ADN program is less than 1 semester of a BSN program. Plus a BSN is 4 years, so that's even more. That's $80,000 versus less than 10. So for me, that was a super huge encouragement because one of my biggest goals was to graduate school without any debt. So those are my pros. Now I'm gonna list some cons. So obviously you're gonna have to go back to school. So you're gonna have to work and go to school at the same time, which can definitely be a turnoff for some people, especially if you're maybe a mom or a dad and you have kids and a family, and that's just gonna be too much for you to work full-time as a nurse and go to school and deal with all of life's just general things you have to do every day. So to some people that's a turnoff. They just want to like get it done right away. Another con is, this wasn't really necessarily in my case, but sometimes there is a waiting list for community colleges because obviously it is a lot cheaper, so that is an incentive for people to want to go there. So sometimes there are waiting lists in order to get into the nursing program. That wasn't my case. At my school there wasn't a waiting list, but I know this is a very common thing at community colleges, and especially now due to COVID and all the college students having to come home from school. You know, now the kind of idea is, well, I'm not going to pay $10,000 a semester to sit at home and do online classes if I can pay $2,000 like on average for like a semester and get the same degree from your house. So those waiting lists might even get bigger, so that is a con. And yeah, those are really the only cons that I could come up with. I'm sure you guys can come up with some more, but like I said, you're gonna have to work and go to school, but some people do that anyways, so that might not even be a con for everyone because you may have to work full-time and get paid less while you're in school to pay for school. You know, I don't know, you can go back and forth, but those are my pros and my cons. So in summary, the reason why I chose to get my ADN first was because it was cheaper. I could live at home, you know, and not have to pay to go away to school. My hospital that I'm going to be working at will be paying for a good majority of my bachelor's degree, and there wasn't a waiting list for me. So those are my pros, but that, again, it's a very personal thing, and different things work better for different people. But that is why I chose to get my ADN. And again, an RN is a license, not a degree. So it doesn't matter if you get an ADN or a BSN when you graduate from that program. If it was accredited, accreditation, making sure your school is accredited is very important as well when you're looking at different schools. So you're able to sit and take your NCLEX and get your RN and add those 2 letters to your name. And then obviously if you get your BSN, I get this question a lot too. You don't have to retake the NCLEX after you get your BSN. That's not a thing. You do have to renew your license, but that doesn't require you taking the NCLEX again. But you have to renew your license yearly anyways. So yeah, I hope this video was informational and you guys got something out of it. I know when I started school, I was very confused between all the letters, ADN, BSN, RN, BSN, like so many different things, but I hope this video was informational, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Shining like a diamond. I see people watching. Perfect.